Does Floyd Mayweather kind of need to take a back seat? Take a step back, Floyd. Let the young guns, do their thing. You've had your time. You're a legend in the sport. You're established. You've put your print on the sport of boxing. You've laid the foundation for many fighters. You're influential, but let these guys, handle business on their own. Floyd Mayweather talked about the possibility and kind of encouraged a fight between David Benavidez and Terence Crawford. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Terence Crawford beats Canelo Alvarez, but I think there's a difference between beating a guy who weighs 168 pounds and is 5'8" versus a guy like David Benavidez, much taller, and 168 pounds. That's a minimum weight for David Benavidez. So it's not really going to be 168 as opposed to fighting Canelo, where I think he'd be a little bit closer in weight to Terence Crawford. I just think, I'm not trying to say that Floyd's setting Terence Crawford up. I just think that Terence Crawford's trying to make a big money fight here. He's not trying to get a high risk fight for a decent but not a crazy amount of money. He's trying to get if he's gonna take a leap to 168, it better be for a big bag. And I think the only way he gets that is through Canelo Alvarez. Don't get me wrong, Terence Crawford and David Benavidez is a huge fight. It would sell a lot of pay-per-views. I know a lot of people within the boxing world would watch that fight, but I think Terence Crawford needs Canelo to bring that Mexican fan base. And if Terence Crawford wins that fight, he solidifies himself as a Hall of Famer and a legend in the sport. Not that he's not already. He already is. It's just that pound for pound status would be undeniable if Terence Crawford beats Canelo Alvarez. That's why I'm so for that fight, because I know that if Terence beats Canelo, which I think he would, he really gets that respect. There's no Inouye talk, there's no Canelo talk, there's no Benavidez talk, because ultimately you beat a guy like Errol Spence Jr., who is on all of our pound for pound lists, and then you go up to 68, beat a guy like Canelo Alvarez, and you call it a career. Like, I think that solidifies him as probably one of the best to ever do it, and I already think he is that. So this would just really put his stamp on the sport of boxing, and then I think he should retire after that. But it's easier said than done. Obviously, we're hearing a lot of Canelo Alvarez talk, Jaime Munguia, Edgar Berlanga, David Benavidez, not really, but Jamal Charlo, yeah. But no talk about Terence Crawford. I think he should be more open to a Terence Crawford fight, because Canelo would make a lot of money with Terence. I think that's a big fight for him. And if he's really confident, if he really thinks that it's an easy fight for him, and he said, nobody's going to give you credit for it, which I disagree with. You beat a guy like Terence Crawford as Canelo Alvarez, I think, people are going to give you a lot of credit. And it's a big money grab. Ultimately, you can't possibly, if you're Canelo Alvarez, you're not denying that fight if you really think it's easy for you to beat Terence Crawford. That's a big money fight. Why would you not take that fight? If he's willing to come to you at 68, you don't have to make weight at 60. You don't have to go to 54 or do something like that. He's saying, I'll come to you, 68, let's make a big fight happen. But he's like, nah, no one's going to give me credit. Yeah, they definitely would give you credit for beating a guy like Terence Crawford fresh off a win after Errol Spence Jr. Like, people are tuning into that fight. Give the fans what they want. If you can't get Benavidez in there, give Terence Crawford a shot. But you guys know I like Floyd. I'm a big Floyd fan. I think he's the best to ever do it, best defensive fighter of all time. But I do think he's strategic, and Devin Haney kind of talks about this. Floyd doesn't like when guys have success and he doesn't have something to do with it. And I think it's an interesting point. Like, Floyd's great, and whenever something great happens in the sport, I think that he has some kind of thought process where he's like, I need to be attached to that. Take Tank and Ryan, for example. That night was supposed to be about Tank and Ryan, and it was, but who do you see in the ring when they're introing it? And you should let Tank have his moment. You don't hear or you don't see Oscar De La Hoya getting in the ring and being around Ryan Garcia. Not that they have the best relationship in the world, and I know that Tank and Mayweather are really close, but you kind of gotta let Tank do his thing. You gotta let it happen naturally. I think you just have to take a back seat. Floyd needs to learn how to take a back seat from the sport of boxing when it comes to getting too involved. I know he plays a big role in the sport of boxing behind the scenes when it comes to promoting fights, and being that guy to show fighters the ropes, to give them that blueprint, show them how to use the sport of boxing. Don't let the sport of boxing use you. You retire from the sport doesn't retire you. That's something that Floyd does, and he's effective at it. And I'm not knocking that part. I'm talking about don't get in the way of what Terence Crawford's trying to do. Terence Crawford never called for a Benavidez fight. He might be open to it, very well open to it, but I think there's no doubt about the fact that he wants Canelo because it's a big money fight. If Canelo Alvarez wasn't the cash cow of the sport of boxing, Terence Crawford's not calling him out because the juice isn't worth the squeeze. But going up to 68 is a big risk in itself. Let him go for who he wants to go for. We don't need Floyd's input. It's interesting to hear that he wants to see that fight. You could say that. You could say that, but like to say that they should be fighting each other, let Terence Crawford do what he's gonna do. You know, he's taking big risks, and I think Canelo should respect that. I think that he deserves a shot. I think it'll be a lot of what ifs in Canelo's career if they don't fight. I think that there's a bigger what if he doesn't fight David, but it doesn't seem like he's gonna make that David Benavidez fight happen. So like there's another option, fight Terence Crawford. I think that's the only, it has to be one of the two, or else people are going to be like, yeah, Canelo's good, but he doesn't really want to fight the best. Like, and in my opinion, like, why? Well, we don't want to see you fight a Charlo brother. Like, we don't. I'd rather see you fight Errol Spence, to be honest. But you know, Canelo's made a lot of money in the sport of boxing. I'm not doubting that. He's a Mexican great. What else is he? He's Canelo. I sound like a hater, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I just think that there are big fights out for him, and it's just frustrating, to see, because Canelo has the reputation of not being scared of anybody. He says that he's not scared of anybody. Then why not fight the guy that we've been waiting to see? I'm not saying you're scared. I just think that if it's not David, which I'd rather see David Benavidez than Canelo, but we're hearing that that's not the fight that Canelo's interested in. So Terence Crawford doesn't interest you. It's just like, what is going on? Like, make that fight happen. But as far as Floyd Mayweather is concerned, I really do think that he needs to, let a lot of these fighters just do their thing. He's getting in the way of a lot of big fights. He almost threw off, Ryan Garcia going for this Devin fight. He said, no, that's not the move. Now, I'm not saying that, he's wrong in the sense that Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia isn't a good fight. It's a good stylistic matchup. It's good advice for Ryan Garcia, but you also see him leaking sparring, but just chill. We need big fights to happen, and I think Terence Crawford, he's a legend in the sport already, and I think that he can make his own calls. He's going to do whatever he wants. Floyd's a legend. He's conducted business in the way he's wanted to. He's done it correctly in the sense of he's made, like he always says, smart investments. But is this something that he would do? What Terence Crawford's doing right now, would Floyd do that? I don't think so. So it's a position that Floyd can talk about because he's obviously entitled to his own opinion, but he's never done what Terence Crawford's doing. Going up to 68 to fight a guy like Canelo, Floyd kind of took some weight off of Canelo in their fight. So it's just it's apples to oranges. Floyd's never been in the position that Terence Crawford's in. Terence has never been in the position Floyd's in. But more importantly, Terence is taking a risk that Floyd wouldn't take. And, Floyd wouldn't go to 68 to fight a guy like Canelo. If he was in Terence Crawford's shoes, he wouldn't do that. So that's something, special coming from Terence Crawford, in my opinion. I think that's, something that should very much be appreciated and acknowledged coming from, Terence Crawford. That's daring to be great, for real. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Terence Crawford, who should he get next? I really do like the Canelo fight for him, especially if Canelo's not fighting David. So that's a mega fight to me. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. It's been your boy Matt with Naz Fight Media, checking off, signing out. Another video. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that post notification bell, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a great day. Peace. That's going to do it for another Naz Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.